It is time for a new tier list video for the current patch or the current rank season, however you want to see it. And as always, I will provide 2 tier lists in total, one for top and bot path and one for central area. So I'm going to start with the top and bot path tier list. And I moved the S plus tier because I don't think currently we have a god tier Pokemon. So no longer do we have an S plus Pokemon. I'm just going to start right here with Cinderace, is still one of the worst laners in the entire game. Has not changed in quite a while. Garchomp is a bit weird. Garchomp has a decently high win rate, but I do think it also struggles. I mean, when I played, I feel like it struggles currently a tiny bit too much. There's a lot of Pokemon where I think it's not the greatest in, but I think B plus is still pretty fair. Anyways, Gengar goes into C tier, also not a great lane or top or bot path Pokemon. It just needs too much experience. If it was a level 7 evolution, might have a more chance in top or bot path, but still better than someone like Cinderace. I think Cram is always a very solid pick. Doesn't matter what. I know people don't really like playing the Pokemon, but Cramorant always does the job quite well. Ninetales, I would say, is quite alright. I just think it gets a bit outranged currently, but definitely, again, B plus means those Pokemon are totally fine and can be played. You will not be griefing your team. C and D is kind of where it heads into the, yeah, probably should we consider, and D is you shouldn't play these Pokemon at all. C is already a bit weird, but if you're very good at those Pokemon, you can still perform on them in solo queue and top and bot path. As soon as it goes into trio queue games, I would not recommend playing any of the C tier Pokemon in trio queue games either. And then B is still fine. Like, you can pick them. They're going to be fine, but nothing too amazing either. Wigglytuff, I think, is honestly quite decent. I do like it. It's just very annoying. Yeah, a decent solid Pokemon. Machamp also B plus. B tier is a bit harsh. I think Machamp can still win games quite actively. Of course, also, if it was a level 7 Pokemon, it would be much better. I mean, of course, it would be better if it had more stats earlier on. But yeah, not the case. Absol is one of the better lane speedsters, but still nothing too amazing. Slowbro, I think, is one of the best defenders. This Unite move just shuts down way too many things. It has good early game with Water Gun. Surf, Skype, you can go multiple different builds depending on opponents. It's just a very solid Pokemon. Mr. Mime, one of the most underrated Pokemon in the game. Easily A tier, in my opinion. I think Venusaur has dropped a tiny bit, and its win rate shows as well that it's not as great as it might have been. I do think it's still decently playable, and you can either play Solar Beam. But actually, in Path, you should only play Solar Beam. Dance is not really good, you know, solo queue, top or bot path build. Even though we have seen it in a tournament a bit, played by one team. But yeah, I can't really recommend playing Dance currently in Path. Lucario is always very decent to me. I like Lucario. But I think I can't put it currently higher than maybe B plus tier. I think B plus fits. I think a lot of Pokemon are going to be in B plus because, yeah, they're just alright, but they're nothing too amazing either. But they're still pretty okay. Talonflame is always one of those speedsters I think that is quite good in lane, but still nothing all too amazing either. At least he was at level 7 compared to some of the all-rounders, so that's at least quite decent. And something definitely to consider. Let me actually capture my cursor as well so I can like show some certain things. Forgot I wasn't captured. Eldegoss currently one of the highest win rate Pokemon in the entire game. For good reason. Eldegoss does a lot. Also just makes every top or bot path just instantly so much stronger. Very annoying to stack up against. And also its Unite move is very strong in fights. Greninja joins Cinderace. Classic. And we're also going to put, maybe as Dragapult, just put these basic attackers down here already into the D tier. I don't want these tier list videos to be too long. So I try to explain why I put them there, but you know, we kind of like these explanations I have to do every single tier list, and at some point I think it should be obvious why these Pokemon are down here, right? Crustic currently is still one of the strongest defender in the entire game. I don't think it's quite S tier, but maybe it could be, honestly. Like in tournaments, it's literally first picked. It is super frustrating to be up against, but I'm gonna keep the S slot for maybe just one Pokemon per role. Could also actually be fine. We'll see. Maybe I should change it around. Snorlax is just a bit, yeah, a bit power creep by other defender Pokemon. Like, defenders are pretty decent. So, Snorlax is nothing wrong with it, though, necessarily. I think Charizard, thanks to the level 7 evolution, is a bit better than these. And also, so Charizard and Gengar have ways of Unite moving the enemy jungler and getting experience back, right? They can always get comeback experience by having a Unite move that can target someone directly and take them down. So that's why they're a bit better than these two, or like these, because they just have an easier time to get back into games, even if they go bad. Pikachu, quite fine. I think nothing too wild. I think B plus is quite fair for Pikachu. Zeraora is just a bit of a mid Pokemon, but definitely better in Path than any of these down here. Gardevoir is pretty solid. Honestly, I think Gardevoir is Honestly, I'm going to put into A. I think it has pretty good early game. Like, Confusion last hitting is quite decent. At level 5, you're very, very strong, very fast. You can spam Unite moves. I think it's quite decent. Blissey just goes a tier under Aethergos, but currently stronger than Clefable. Clefable got nerfed pretty hard. So I think Clefable goes somewhere down here, actually. It's still quite annoying. But Clefable just got Clefable is kind of... The healing is very bad now. And also in draft, you can play Curse Incense into it now. Much easier, so yeah. Blastoise is my defender choice for now. Blastoise just does way too much. Pokemon needs to be nerfed. Definitely does way too much. Mamoswine, a bit underrated, but also just outclassed by other defender Pokemon. But I personally like Mamoswine. I think he's quite solid. To me, Sylveon goes into the A tier. Just because of level 4 power spikes, definitely. Greedent is still... I don't know, I guess Green is B+. I feel like Greedent is only played by Green players. No one else plays it. Like, it's just the Pokemon only a certain amount of players play. Decidueye, I always explained I put it a bit higher than these just because Spirit Shackle is much more powerful than any of the abilities these Pokemon have. And if you get to level 7, you're going to be very strong. And I would still recommend it only, like if you have an XP share partner, it's somewhere here. If you don't have an XP share partner, it's somewhere here. So just put it in the middle of where I think it would be, depending on if you have XP share in your lane or not. But definitely, Decidueye, if you have an XP share, good, strong early game partner, Decidueye in Path is very good. In solo queue, if you lane with a, I don't know, Garchomp or something, or Machamp, then don't pick Decidueye in Path ever. Serena, I mean, I personally like Serena a lot, but I think I can't put it higher than B+. But I'm a Serena fan, you guys know. Dragonite in Path just takes way too much time to be active. It should only be played in Central Area. I mean, all of these should just be played in Central Area. And these as well almost should only be played in Central Area. Trevenant, to me, is still super strong. It has Woodhammer, Horn Leech is good, Woodhammer, Pain Split is good, Curse, Horn Leech is good, Curse, Pain Split is good. It has 4 viable builds that are all top tier. Trevenant is just a force to be, reckoned with. Aegislash is just weak, honestly, but I think I don't want to put into C tier. But man, Aegislash needs something. I'm actually going to put into C tier. Every time I play this Pokemon, I'm having a terrible time. Currently, it's just not it. It's so hard to switch into your attack form. The Unite move has no impact. Getting to level 7 can be so difficult. I just can't recommend it currently. Hoopa still A+ to me. Very strong support. Duraludon. Yeah, I don't know. I usually put into maybe B+ tier, but I mean, Duraludon is just, it's alright. Nothing special. It's one of the better attack Pokemon though in lane, so I'm going to put into B+ actually. I always put Duraludon somewhere here. I think that's, I mean, again, these are not ordered, by the way. Like, Serena's not better than Machamp. These Pokemon have no order. I think that's kind of useless to do. It's just, I order them by attacker, all-rounder, speedster, defender, and support. So it's a bit visually better looking, so you know which role is where. But yeah, so Duraludon is not better than Venusaur. They're just like in here. Doesn't matter. Azumarill is still, to me, a very solid solo queue rounder. I know people don't really like to play it much, but I think it should be played more. Espeon easily A+ here, when Psybeam stored power is so annoying and currently one of the best attack in the game. Delphox, you got small buffs. I think A is just a bit too much. Delphox also requires a XP share lane partner, I feel like, most of the time, because it just needs a lot of experience. Glacier and Path is alright, but I do think it's better in Central Area, and in Central Area it's going to be much higher. Buzzwole goes into the S tier. Even though its win rate is not too amazing, like in solo queue and stuff and trios, Buzzwole just completely takes over every single game. Trinita in Path is absolutely horrible. Mew is easily A+ to me. I know a lot of people are probably not going to agree with this, if Mew being A+, but that's just a you issue, honestly. Like, Mew is very good. Dodrio, also in my opinion, A+, very strong Path Pokemon even. It's just very frustrating to deal with, but for Dodrio, you have to be good. If you're not good at Dodrio, it's somewhere here. It's something you have to put a lot of time into. But if you put time into, it's going to be decent. I think Scizor, after the buffs, goes into B+. I think A is still a bit too high, just because we don't have full draft yet, so sometimes the matchups are just a bit rough for Scizor. But I think Scisor's finally a Pokemon you can confidently pick again and have a good time. Again, B+, all of these Pokemon you can pick and win with and carry with. Definitely. B is already, yeah, they're fine. You can still carry and win with them, but you have to be at least a bit, known with them. Like, you have to play a good Talonflame and Absol. By B+, you can definitely carry with these if you pick in top and bot path, but there might just be a few better choices, Zoroark goes into A tier in my opinion, but also needs a lot of skill to play. Sableye, B+. I think people think Sableye is bad. I don't get why they think Sableye is bad. it's so frustrating to deal with. And a good Sableye will make your day, or will ruin your day, definitely. Wicked Blow Shifu goes into D tier. I don't want to see this in my games on top of bot path ever. Comfey. Comfey's just annoying Pokemon. I don't want to put it higher than A, but it just really depends on your team comp. Zacian in path, I think. I mean, it might still be S tier, honestly. Like it's hard to judge. But I'm gonna put into A+. It has a, I mean, Zacian is Zacian, right? Like, it is just very good, honestly. Zacian is a solid Pokemon. I'm gonna put into S tier. I'm curious to see how it would be if tournaments would allow Zacian, but they're currently down. But it would be quite interesting to see how he would do. Goodra, man, I can't really put Goodra into here anymore. Like, I always want Goodra to do well, and it's not too bad, but it is by far the worst performing defender. It is just the worst performing defender. It's just how it is. It needs too much experience. It can't run XP shared self as well. And anti-healing also exists, which in draft can be quite annoying. To me, Lapras is still pretty decent, but I don't think I can put into A maybe. I don't think Lapras can be A, but definitely B+ is worthy of Lapras. Chandelure, in my opinion, is A tier. Of course, getting level 5 can be difficult sometimes, but if you get to level 5, very, very good Pokemon. Umbreon, probably still A+. Doesn't matter which bit you play. Leafeon. Can I put Leafeon into S tier? I mean, I said it's one of the best bends you can do, probably. And I think in solo queue, Leafeon is so frustrating to deal with that, yeah. Like, it has... Once you get Solar Blade to Razor Leaf, your lane is just over so fast. It's so frustrating. Inteleon, I think I'm not going to put into S anymore, but A+ still easily. One of the best attacker, together with Mew and Espeon, definitely. I think Mewtwo Y still goes into S tier. In Path, actually lately I really much prefer playing Mewtwo Y in top or bot path. Actually bot path only. I would only play this in bot path. But then it's absolutely very, very strong. Mewtwo X goes into A+ tier though. I'm not gonna put this into S. It's A+, it's decent. Blaziken into A tier. I don't think I want to put it higher, even though it's of course a good Pokemon. Sometimes you will struggle a lot, and certain, like, you know, like Buzzwole, Blastoise, Leafeon, like they're so good early game, they're so good in team fights. It is so frustrating to be up against, and you might just get stunned out, locked down. But if you play good Blaziken, definitely can be up here too. Mimikyu, I hate Mimikyu in Path a lot. I think Mimikyu in Path is not... a lot of people might disagree with this, and I don't care if you disagree with this. Mimikyu in Path is absolutely terrible. Setting Strikes Shifu also absolutely terrible in Path. Scyther is alright. Gonna put it next to Scizor. I think both of them, depending on which one you prefer, you can play either. I don't like Scyther at all, but definitely it's something you can pick if you're good at it. Masquerada, I don't think, maybe S tier also. At least in solo queue. In solo queue, it's definitely S tier. Very, very frustrating rank. We're not talking about, like, this is not tournament level. This is not really 5-stack level. This is mainly solo, duo, trios. How those Pokemon perform in duo, single, and trios, right? That's just how it is. How 99% of us play the game. That's how I rank these and how they perform. Metagross to me is A. I know people, he has a very low win rate. I don't get why. I think Metagross is absolutely amazing. Of course, it takes a bit of time to get used to sometimes or get some experience in, but I don't understand why it has such a bad win rate. Every time I play it, I do super well with it. Gyarados also, I think, is quite decent right now. Gonna put into A+, very, very strong. Has so many, like, it evolves so early now, consistently, and its Unite move does also a lot. And then Miraidon goes into S tier. Let me know what you think about this tier list. Maybe some of them of S should be an A+ or something, but I think honestly it looks quite alright. Again, let me know in the pinned comment or in general in the comments how or what you would agree with the most and what also you would disagree with. Now for the Central Area tier list, which I will go through a bit faster. There's a lot of explanations, but yeah, I mean, again, the explanations are on almost every single tier list video, and they are very similar. Cinderace, I think, is quite underperforming right now, but if you go at Cinderace, there's something you definitely can pick. Garchomp in Central Area, I think, is a bit better. It gets its power spikes much earlier on, and also has quite solid ganks and a decent team fighting. Gengar is something, I think only if you play Gengar well, you should be playing, definitely. Cramorant, very solid Central Area Pokemon. Ninetales, I can't recommend playing in Central Area currently. Is it complete grief? No. Is it something borderline of something you should be playing? I think Veil and Gleam actually can be played in Central Area with good success though. Machamp, definitely can't recommend playing this in Central Area currently. Absol is quite fine. I think honestly A. I think Absol in solo queue is very, very powerful. Venus on Central Area is to me still A, either for Pedal Dance or for Solar Beam. definitely something you can consider playing. Talonflame as well. I think Talonflame is quite underrated. Definitely, I think deserves A tier to me. One of the better speedsters you can play. Yeah, I know I made a Lucario video jungle, like a jungle Lucario video, but that's mainly because I currently am just a bit bored. I want to try out different things. But I just want to showcase that you can still play Lucario in Central Area and win games. But of course, you shouldn't be doing it, and it's much better in top or bot path, just because of Odd's strong early game. Greninja, I think it's better than Cinderace, but actually not really, man. I think both of them are just so mid right now, sadly. I mean, maybe not sadly. The sad part is that people still play these Pokemon this much for how, like, mid they are. I think that is the bigger issue for, you know, for Greninja and Cinderace. Charizard currently, I feel like, is super good in Central Area. And if you consider playing Charizard again, it's definitely the time right now to play it again. Zora, I mean, these are the three, like, you know, these are the three Pokemon that were always the same together since the beginning of the time, I feel like. Oh, man. This is like the trio Griefer squad. Cinder, Greninja, and Zora. Since the release of this game, these have been the three Griefer Pokemon. Pikachu Central Area, nothing I can recommend. Gardevoir, very solid, gets to Power Spike super early. Sylveon Jungle is definitely quite decent too. But I think in solo queue, you should definitely play it in top or bot path. Mainly, Decidueye, B+, just sometimes gets run down a bit too easily. But Decidueye definitely not too bad at all. Serena Central Area, the problem with Serena Central Area is you don't get your stacks. And you need attack weight stacks. Like, it can be sometimes impossible. Of course, in lane you also might not get it, but sometimes you can just die for a few, and you're definitely going to be quite good with them. I think Dragonite is somewhere between A+ and A. I think it's a very good Pokemon, but yeah, you still need good teammates for Dragonite to be very useful. Aegislash currently is just, again, it's just not a great Pokemon. Really can't recommend playing Aegislash in its current state. Azuma Central Area, I feel like it's similar to Serena, and it's just better. It has good laning phase, it has very early evolution, so you just don't have to put it into the Central Area whatsoever. Duraludon is quite fine. Just no one plays it. Espeon Central Area is actually quite good. Stout Power Psybeam can be played in Central Area as well with a lot of success. It has good early game. Ganks are very strong. Psybeam for objective secure. And of course I could say similar to Azuma, it has early power spikes, but it actually does a lot. And also, Stout Power can't last it. So with putting it to Central Area, you skip level 4 to level 6, but you can't really last it much. Delphox, I think Delphox in Central Area is still decently powerful. Probably B+ tier. Glaceon joins Espeon into the A+. Actually, no, I think I'm Glaceon into S tier still. What a frustrating Pokemon, man. I hate Glaceon. It's so powerful. Buzzword Central Area is definitely something you can consider, but also just better in, you know, top or bot path, mainly top. Scizor Jungle, actually, I kind of like it now, but I don't want to put it too high. But after playing Scizor Jungle now on the new patch, I think it's actually not the worst. Like, it's definitely something you can play. To me, Dodrio is still an absolute broken character. As when it comes to Central Area, Zoroark joins the other speedsters. Maybe a bit better, actually. Maybe A+ for the speedster. Zoroark Jungle. Actually, let's put A+. I think that's even better. Urshifu with Big Blow. Just a bit. It's also very team reliant, similar to Dragonite, but Dragonite is just a better version of Big Blow Urshifu, I feel like, when it comes to this. You cannot pick both for objective secure. But Dragonite just does a bit better and also just does more damage on its own, while Wicked Blow Shifu kind of really depends on your teammates by a lot. Mew Jungle, to me it's A+, to others it might not be as high, but to me Mew Central Area is very strong. Dragapult has dropped a good amount. Gonna put it down back to B+ tier, but I think it's still better than probably Snake's Greninja. I mean, they're kind of similar, I would say, when it comes to power. Zacian Central is still in the S tier. Chandelure, also A when it comes to Central Area. Just a bit behind the other ones, but also very solid choice. Inteleon Central Area, of course, it's also better in top or bot path, but you do get to Snipe Shot much earlier, and you're also going to be very high level, and Inteleon is still a great character. Doesn't matter what. Mewtwo Y, I hate playing Mewtwo Y in Central Area, but of course I still have to include it. I rather play it in Path now. I feel like it's much more fun in Path, because in Central Area it just takes so long to just get back to your jungle and like clear last hits outright. Blaziken in Central Area is also quite decent. Of course it kind of relies on stacks, but Blaziken you kind of can play in Central Area without stacks. There's a certain amount of builds where you don't have to necessarily run attack weight, like you can run Muscle, Razor Claw, and Weakness Policy, or Muscle, Weakness Policy, Resonant Guard or something, right? You can still run attack weight too. You can do Muscle or Razor with Weakness Policy, attack weight, just hope you get it while ganking. but I would not go double stacking. If you play Blaziken in Central Area, do not go Cookie on top of attack rate. Only go for attack rate. Defense Central Area, also very, very strong, very frustrating to deal with. Same for Mioscarada. Goes into S for me. I think just because Leafeon is so strong, like in Path, I'd rather have it in A+ here, but definitely also strong jungle, especially if you go for Razor Leaf and Aerial Ace. Also super, super good build currently that I can recommend. Mimikyu in Central Area is a much different beast compared to top and bot path. And it's still, of course, very, very good in solo queue. Metagross Central Area, I'm a big fan of. Again, I'm just, okay, though, I think the most bias I have in this entire tier list is Metagross, which I think is much better than people think it is. And I'm just going to put it into this. Scyther is alright. Higher than Scizor and Central Area, definitely. But also Pokemon you have to be very good at. If you're not good at Scyther, it is very useless, I have to say it. You have to be very confident on it. Gyarados Central Area, I think you don't really want to play that, right? I think. Miraidon also, of course, S tier. Big surprise on that one, right? Wait, how did I do this here? No, I do Speedsters in front of our rounders, right? There you go. Right, of course, yeah, but it has to be visually pleasing. Can't change it now. There we go. Was it here like this? Yeah. Mewtwo X in Central Area. It takes too long to farm. I'm really not a big fan of it. In Central Area, really not. I haven't tried it in a while. It's probably still good though, right? Because it's Mewtwo X, right? Like, there can't be something wrong picking Mewtwo X. Sterling's Rex Urshifu actually put here, but I think it can win games, and I played it a few times, and it was better than I expected, so I'm going to put it actually a bit higher. But of course, it's a weird bit right now. Tyranitar, probably B+ tier, maybe A tier. But I can't believe I'm playing Tyranitar all too much. It's alright, but nothing really all too fancy. It's just very boring Pokemon, man. You just need to farm the entire game. And that's just it, right? Farming the entire game. It's not the most fun. That's it for this tier list. I hope you guys enjoyed the Central one too. Let me know in the comments again what you disagree, what you agree with. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!